Hi there, gorgeous! Hope you're having a fabulous day wherever you may be. I am starting back my postpartum weight loss series. This was a series I started back in January, about 6 months after I had my son Ace, and I wanted to do it as a way to help other women, men who may be on the same path, and maybe you're just looking for someone to hold you accountable. I mean, it can be rather lonely when you're on a weight loss plan all by yourself. So I know that these have been very motivating for some people who've been watching them, and it's been motivating for me to document it too. So yay for bringing them back. I put them on hold because of the virus and how hard it was to find things in grocery stores and all that, and with the chaos in our household and all that, it was really hard to find time to film them too. So hopefully I will be able to do these a lot more often as time permits and continue back with them 100%. But today I wanted to share with you not only an update on my postpartum weight loss, let you know where I'm at, etc., but I also wanted to share some of my top favorite healthy snacks that I like to make that not only keep me on track, but also meet my nutritional goals, so I'm not falling short. I'm still getting everything that I need, even when I'm not eating as healthy as I should, or even as often as I should, because I will just say, with 3 small children, it's extremely hard for me to sit down and eat a meal. Yeah, it's hard. That brings me to the very first product I wanted to share with you, and this is from a company called Teemi Blends. This is their Greens Superfood blend. This is basically a very finely milled powder. It contains matcha, spirulina, and wheatgrass. And the purpose of this is to help you increase the amount of vegetables that you're getting and the amount of superfoods that you're intaking daily. Most of us know that eating more vegetables not only helps to improve our gut health, but also our energy level. And I can absolutely tell a difference on days when I'm not consuming as much of the healthy foods that I'm supposed to be. And I can tell when my body starts to crave carbs, and then it turns into this vicious cycle, and it becomes a huge mess. But this powder has changed all that, and it's become a great healthy option to keep me on track. And that's what I love so much about it. Not only is it really easy to make, but it's super versatile. You can combine it up in a number of different recipes, and it's good for you. I'll be showing you my favorite smoothie recipe that I've been using a lot lately with this powder, but I also wanted to mention to you that I have simply been combining it up with water and ice. That's what I have in my tumbler today, and I love it just like this. You can also use almond milk if you don't want to use water, but it's so smooth. The powder dissolves instantly. There's no gritty texture to it at all. It has a very earthy, light taste. You can detect a little bit of wheatgrass in it, but it's not overpowering, and there's no aftertaste. It's simply divine. So let me show you how to make this smoothie recipe, which I guarantee you will love. The Teami Greens is so versatile. You can make it whichever way you want, but I found this recipe for this smoothie off of their website, and it became an instant favorite of mine, so I wanted to share it with you. It uses a very simple ingredient list. All you need is 1 banana, half a cup of orange juice, mangoes. You can use fresh, you can use frozen. I like to use canned when mangoes are not readily available. Half a cup of coconut water, about a handful to a cup worth of spinach leaves, and then a scoop of the Teami Greens powder. So let me show you how easy this is to make in the blender. So I'll first put in a cup of the mango, and hopefully I do not wake up 2 babies who are sleeping right now with this blender. And then I'm adding my half a cup of orange juice, putting my banana in there. Now I currently do not have any pure coconut water on hand, but I have this, so I'm using it instead, and it's a pretty good alternative. No real calories to it. So I'm taking 3/4 of a cup of this, pouring that into the blender, adding my spinach, and then I'm taking a healthy scoop of our greens there, this is the best part, and putting that into the blender. I make a mess. I'm such a messy cook. Then we're gonna blend and pray that we don't wake up any babies. Here we go. Then I'm going to pour it into my tumbler here. Ooh, I love this stuff. So good. So if you're interested in getting the Teami Greens Superfood Blend for yourself, I'll have it listed and linked for you below in the description box with a coupon code so you can save some money. It's an excellent powder all the way around. So if you've been looking for something like this, I cannot recommend it to you enough. Now for all the other recipes that I'm sharing with you here today, I didn't record tutorials for them so much because it was a lot of work, and I really made all of these in one night for this video so I could take pictures of them. And that is evidenced here in this small little video clip that I took to show you the mess that my kitchen became while I was making this video. It was a lot of fun for me that night just to sit back and make all of these recipes and not have to worry about filming them, so I didn't. But yeah, that's one of my great passions in life, is cooking. So anytime that I get the opportunity to do it, I absolutely love it. But all of the recipes I'm sharing with you here today do have videos for the most part, I think, attached to them. So I'll have the recipes listed and linked for you below in the description box, and you can go and watch the video that the original creators put out on most of these to get an idea of how to make them. The first one I wanted to share with you is a cinnamon yogurt fruit dip. I love fruits as a snack. Apples, tangerines, pears are really good. I try to stay away from some of the more high sugar fruits like pineapple. Watermelon is okay sometimes, but usually I'll stick with apples, pears, fruits like that. And this fruit dip recipe is really good with an apple. Just 4 simple ingredients. And I will have the adjustments that I did to it below in the description box. I made it a little different than what the recipe called for, and it came out really good. So I'll have that information for you below. Another one that I cannot recommend to you enough, and this is really going to depend on whether or not you like peas. I know some people really, really hate peas, my kids included. I wish that they would like them because I love them. But this is a green pea dip. I know it sounds so weird, but it's so good. And this is another one with a very simple ingredient list. I like to use recipes like that because they're quick and easy to make. All you need is cilantro, peas, salsa, and a little bit of salt. And I will tell you that depending on how much cilantro you add to this recipe, it can either really punch up the flavor or it can be really mild. I personally like a lot of cilantro. That's just me. And I love to eat this dip with carrots and sugar snap peas especially. Those are my 2 go-to snacking vegetables usually. Another one I wanted to share with you is a mango salsa recipe. So good with simple tortilla chips. You know those scoop ones you can get in the store that look like little bowls? Those are the ones that I love to combine up with this salsa. And it just uses mango, red onion, cilantro again, lime, and salt. You can also add a jalapeno pepper to it if you want. I usually omit that because I don't like for the salsa to be too spicy, but this salsa is also really good over salmon. So if you make salmon one night and you're looking for something to put over the top, this is excellent for that. And I typically will use canned mangoes. You can find them from Del Monte, the same one that I used for the smoothie earlier. And I'll use that when I cannot find fresh mangoes, because right now some things are still hard to find in the grocery store. I've heard people recommend to me before that hummus is also a really good snack when you want something to stay on track that is of a healthy option, but I'm not a huge fan of hummus. So I went to find something that was like that, but still healthy. And this next recipe became a go-to hit favorite for me. And this is a white bean garlic herb dip. So it really just uses white beans as its base, and this one is so tasty. Actually, when I was taking pictures of all of these snacks that night, this was one that my husband loves being creative, and so he'll come in sometimes and try to pose food with me, because let's face it, food photography is just one of the most awesome, most creative outlets, at least it is for me. But anyway, he was having fun helping me put together these sets for the pictures, and he snuck a bite of this dip as I was photographing it, and he's like, oh my gosh, hurry up so I can eat that. But this one is really good with crackers. It's awesome with celery, and I'm not a big fan of celery, but I love the crunch that celery gives you with this. The textures combined up together are really good. And some crackers that I found that were of low calorie came from Townhouse. I forgot what they were called, but it was about 70 calories for 8 crackers. Last snack I have to share with you, oh my gosh, This is for all of us who have a sweet tooth, but we don't want to go overboard. And this was one that I was able to film one afternoon when Gia and Ace were napping and Jet was being so good. All he wanted to do was sit on the floor and play with his train, so I was like, yes, let's film this. Let me just tell you the title of this recipe. Dark chocolate popcorn. Oh, it's every bit as good as what you think it's going to be. So all you do is take half a cup of dark chocolate chips. That's key here because dark chocolate is heart healthy. Combine up half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon and a little bit of sea salt. Melt the chocolate. Now I find that it takes about 1:30 to about 2 minutes to get all of the morsels to melt together into the perfect consistency for mixing into the popcorn. I would say also try to get a popcorn that is as low calorie as possible. I found the Skinny Pop brand to be extremely good, so that's the one that I usually use. And once you have your chocolate melted, pour that on top of the popcorn, mix it together until the popcorn is completely coated, and then you want to pour this out onto a baking sheet and pop it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. I know this is the hardest part, is waiting for the chocolate to set. And then once the chocolate has hardened, take it out and enjoy. And I will tell you, portion control is key with this recipe. So good. Half a cup to a cup is usually all I have in the evening. And I limit myself from there, but this is one that you will have to keep in the refrigerator because the chocolate does start to melt and then it becomes a mess. So just be aware of that. It's one that you will probably want to keep in the back of the refrigerator anyway, because anyone who sees it is going to devour it. I'm sitting at my desk right now. I've never filmed here before, but it's basically an L-shaped desk. This is where I do all my editing, and the desk goes this way, and I got my 3 babies up here. This is Jet, Gia, and the Ace. So that brings me to the update on how I'm doing. I am at the point where I have 15 pounds to lose until I can fit into my clothes again. Because every time I've lost weight after having a baby, I know that there's this one number I have to reach when my clothes will start to fit again. So I'm 15 pounds away from that right now. Yes, really excited about that. Now, if I want to go to the weight that I was at before I had my son, then that would be 25 pounds. So I'm trying not to think of that number because the bigger the number, it starts to psych me out a little bit. And the more I started thinking about that number, it started to discourage me. And so I'm trying to focus more on the 15 pounds right now and get that under my belt. But then I also started thinking about how much weight have I lost as an extra form of motivation. As of today, I have lost 30 pounds. 30 pounds since I had my son. That's all by myself. That's not including the weight loss after you have the baby. So when I thought about it from that angle, 30 pounds is a lot, and I am really proud of myself for having lost that much. So I can do 15 very easily. So that really helped to motivate me. So if you're struggling right now with a number that seems rather big to you, rather unattainable, just think about how much weight you have lost already. Focus on that. That was what happened to my mom recently too, because she started a weight loss journey. And so we've been going through this together and sharing tips back and forth, which has been really awesome. And she called me up the other day and found out she had lost, actually she lost 30 pounds also. And she was so excited and she was telling me, I lost 30 pounds. I was like, way to go, Mom. So yeah, let's focus on the victories. Let's not focus on where we have to go. Focus on where we've been and what we've done up to this point. And I'm not going to pressure myself to get to any certain number at a certain date. I did that in the past and all it does is stress me out. And it's just like, really, like, who am I doing this for? I'm doing it for me. And my goal is to be able to fit into my clothes again. And I know that consuming the amount of calories that I'm consuming each day, if I just stick to that number, it's gonna fall off on its own, and it has. It's just been a slow process this time, but you know what? We're gonna get to where we're going eventually. But let me know how you're doing. How is your weight loss going? Have you made progress? Would love to know where you are and how your results have been. And thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to watch. I wanna say I truly appreciate your support and always love to see your comments. And I will look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful day, whenever you may be happening to watch this video.